Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? Ba-da, ba-ba, ba-ba, da-da-da. Well, anyways, guys, now that I have your attention, what's up and what's going down? How y'all doing today? It's the Dizzy One here, bringing you another episode of NBA 2K18 Legends, my league, and I'm gonna take a while to get used to that, but I don't know what I was doing right there. I was just like, you know what, let's change it up a little bit, just get the attention drawn into this video. But now that you're here, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because we got a great game for you guys. We got Michael Jordan going up against Joe Dumars here in our first game in the United Center in Chicago. My goodness, we're doing it, guys. We are doing it. Now, this was pretty much the rivalry of the decade. Maybe not a complete decade, but this was a rivalry back in the day. Joe Dumars and Michael Jordan went at it. Their two teams were really struggling for dominance in the Eastern Conference for a while, for a couple years. There was always the Celtics, and there was always, not always, but there was now the bad boy Pistons. And the bad boy Pistons were starting to create this image of themselves. The reason why we call them the bad boy Pistons is because they were bad guys, man. They would do anything in their power on the court to make sure that you would not score. And specifically to Michael Jordan and his squads, Michael Jordan was a relentless guy. He would go in all the time and insert his dominance and shove it in your throat and he would make sure you knew that he was on the court and he was the reason you lost. It was a team game, but you did not want to mess with Michael Jordan. The bad boy Pistons, on the other hand, these guys did not care if you liked them or not. You know that guy on the NBA channel, I think it's NBA TV and all that stuff, and he's an analyst and he's 6 foot tall and he's super nice and smiley. This guy's name is Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, that guy? Back in the day, that guy was not all smiles when you were on the court. He was probably one of the worst guys that really led that team to that identity. He embraced the identity of being the bad boys. That was something that was crazy in his time, because everybody in that time wanted to be like. They wanted to be the Magic Johnson before they found out he had HIV. They wanted to be the Larry Bird. They wanted to be that guy. But the Bad Boys Pistons was led by Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer in the fact that, hey, we don't care if we're the bad guys of the NBA. As long as we win championships, and they did, that's all that matters. So, with that being said, when Michael Jordan was facing these Pistons and Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas and company, it was all-out war. Michael Jordan would try to insert himself into the game, and the Pistons were like, you know what? As long as we don't kill Michael Jordan, we'll be okay. We will be okay. And what ended up happening, guys, was that Michael Jordan lost games. People always say that Michael Jordan is 6-0 in the NBA Finals. Well, that's true, but in the playoffs, the reason why he's 6-0 in the finals is because he never got to the finals more times, I guess, but he's not completely faultless in the playoffs. He lost a lot of playoff series, especially to the bad boy Pistons, guys. This team was just way too much for Michael Jordan. Even Michael Jordan himself has stated that he had to get stronger, work out harder. He had to pump more iron and all that stuff to get better, to take the beating that they give to him on a series, because they would literally, even if he's just going for a lip, they would push him and knock him over. And Bill Laimbeer was one of the worst guys, because he would push you into someone else on the team and the other player would ram into you. Like, they don't care, or they would throw you down. They don't care as long as they win the game. That's all it was. You had to know that you were going to get hurt playing against the Pistons. And Michael Jordan got stronger. Scottie Pippen got on board and he became an all-star that he was. And his team really just took the identity of the grit that they needed to beat those Pistons. And it's crazy to think that Yes, Michael Jordan is 6-0 in the NBA Finals, and that is an incredible feat that probably won't ever happen again. But he's not undefeated in the playoffs. So for those people who are saying, you know what, LeBron James, you don't have as many wins as losses in the finals, just getting to the finals that many times in a row is crazy, because not even Michael Jordan got to the finals all the time. Okay, when he was in the playoffs, the Pistons would knock him down. Larry Bird would knock him down. But then when he got to the finals, that's when he really transcended. And not just him, but also his team. There were times when he had to count on Steve Kerr and other guys. But I'm just saying that Michael Jordan isn't the perfect guy that people make him out to be. He lost in the playoffs. And people forget about that. So for those people, I know I'm not going to change your minds, but for the ones who are growing up and who are watching this video, just remember that even though someone says they're the greatest of all time or so forth, you can't immortalize someone just based on what you remember. You have to realize that you have to know the whole history of the game. And Michael Jordan is not an unbeatable player that people make him out to be. There are ways to beat him, and yes, of course, it's probably almost considered, well, it is considered cheating. You'd probably get suspended games and suspended a year if you continue to do it in today's NBA. But there are ways to beat everybody, and honestly, Michael Jordan might as well be the greatest player of all time, but he is not, or he shouldn't be on a pedestal that's so untouchable. He's done so much for the game. He's made the shoe business of basketball what it is today, basically single-handedly, but he isn't so he shouldn't be so untouchable. Like players like LeBron, players like Magic Johnson, like Bill Russell, those guys should still be able to have a chance at the conversation of being the greatest basketball player of all time, because we shouldn't just remember the accomplishments. We should always also keep in our heads the failures, because how they rise to the occasion and how they respond to that circumstance should be also what we consider in defining their legacy. And Michael Jordan, I gotta say that he stood up and he became a legend because of how he produced in the finals, but it's not because of that. The reason why Michael Jordan won those 6 finals was because a major part of it had to do with the bad boy Pistons. If it wasn't for the bad boy Pistons, Michael Jordan would honestly, in my opinion, not have won 6 championships. If Michael Jordan responded in a way saying, you know what, they're just going to keep fouling me, they're just going to keep trying to end my career, I'm not going to go in as much on them, I'm just going to stop going inside and take as many jumpers as possible. If Michael Jordan responded like that, I don't think he would have as many championships or any championships at all. But because of the way he responded, because of the way he overcame, he worked hard, he still played his game, he dominated inside, and he dominated the complete game. That's what makes Michael Jordan great. So when you look at Michael Jordan, please realize he's not supposed to be untouchable. He's a great player. He's probably the greatest player of all time because of what he's accomplished. But players today, players in today's NBA, you can't judge them, especially rookies, that they'll have a ceiling or they'll have this notion that they can't be the greatest of all time because Michael Jordan is already the greatest of all time. You have to give them a chance. And players like LeBron James, he's probably had a perfect NBA career other than the championships, but what he's done for the game, how he's accomplished his greatness, you have to take that into consideration as well as what he's not accomplished. And honestly, each player is different, and you just really have to take into account every single thing that each player goes through to really just, I guess, judge. Because that's what we do as sports fans. We judge their greatness. In my opinion, honestly, I feel like we should just appreciate the greatness. That's what I think we should do. Like, stop comparing and just appreciate what we have now. Michael Jordan was a great player. Kobe Bryant was a great player. Magic Johnson was a great player. Bill Russell was a great player. Wilt Chamberlain was a great player. But LeBron's a great player. Kevin Durant's a great player, even though he's not a great human being. But you just have to appreciate the greatness, in my opinion. And this game was absolutely crazy, guys. I've been going on a rant about the bad boys Pistons and the greatness of a player and how we should look at it. It's all up to you, but this game really was down to the wire, and one guy really stepped up, and his name was Kyle Lowry. At the end of the game, he just kept knocking down threes, kept making plays, and at the end of the day, we really just couldn't get by Kyle Lowry and his greatness. So there he is right there, and they're showing him the appreciation because of what he's done for them to get the victory for his team. And as you guys can see, 58-55, we got a shot because of Kawhi Leonard's three. But John Wall turning the ball over, full court pass, that's pretty much going to do it right there. All he needs is one free throw, and that is going to be game. Greg Popovich, leader of the White Walkers. But, oh my goodness, cannot knock down another one. That's going to do it. That's the end of the game, guys. This was a little bit more of a serious NBA topic, an NBA discussion that I hope you guys will get involved with. I really am passionate about not comparing players, and I mean, I understand that we have to compare players at times, but that's what stats are for, I guess. But we get lost in all of those comparisons that we forget about the greatness that we're watching. That's my argument. I don't mind comparing players, but when it gets to the point when you just forget how good a player is today because of how good a player was back then, it's just, I don't know what we're doing, man. With that being said, let's get a little bit hyped up. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. See you on the next episode. Adios. Somebody cook this man some popcorn chicken.